there's already a generation of people who don't know what floppy. Oh, sorry.
Okay. Hi, we're prepared to play Cartel. My name's Jason. I use he, him pronouns. Cartel is a game by Magpie Games by Mark Diaz Truman. This is session 2. We're going to play 5 sessions this month. Last time we did a bunch of character creation. We played for about an hour, got our characters out into the world. One of our characters isn't here this week. Pavel's Halcone Saul is not here today, but Brandon is here, and he's scheduled to be here through the rest of the series, and we'll meet his character here in a moment. Cartel is a PBTA game of narco fiction. It takes place in the city of Durango, Mexico, in the year 2007. Durango is a city of about 500,000 people. It's about 10 hours from the American border. It's Durango, the state of Durango is one of the 3 states that make up what's called the Mexican Golden Triangle. 3 states that are relatively low population density with a lot of rough terrain. And in the middle of the 3 states is Sierra Madre Mountains, where a lot of marijuana and poppies are grown. And those drugs are then processed and then shipped up into the United States. In addition, Mexico itself is sort of a highway for all that cocaine coming from Central and South America. So all the cartels are involved in that business. Let's go around the table, have everybody introduce themselves with their pronouns, also their characters with their pronouns, and give us a quick reminder of who your character is and what kind of mischief they got themselves into last time. Go ahead and take a minute to kind of get us all reacquainted with your character and where they're at. I think last time I kept having Daniel go first, and Pavel's not here, so looking at our character keeper, next up would be Matthew. We'll go left to right and get everybody introduced. Matthew, tell us about yourself and your character.
Hi, I'm Matthew. I use he, him pronouns. Today I will be playing Ignacio Ayala, also he, him pronouns. Ignacio Ayala is for most of his adult life, has been a job drifting fellow who struggles to make ends meet and sustain the lifestyle that he has with his wife and child. In recent years, he has taken up he has become the cocinero, the guy who cooks up the drugs, specifically cocaine, and he uses the money that he earns from that to keep up appearances, to make the American dream look like is something he's got. With regards to recent mischief, normally Ignacio just, when Ignacio receives the coca leaf, he gives a predictable amount of cocaine back to the cartel to be distributed, and sometimes he gets a little bit extra and saves it for himself, and that's exactly what he did last time. Got about, I believe you said, a kilo, and is trying to not get rid of, trying to sell it off before anyone else catches on to it. And he's kind of gotten Angel and Saul to help him out.
Right. And then also we had a scene where the lieutenant of the plaza boss, Enadina is her name, she came to you and she was kind of questioning you about whether you were skimming any drugs, and you lied to her, and she went away, but she seemed a little bit suspicious. And I believe you decided to, I think we established that your usual way of getting your extra drugs to Saul is that you put it at the bottom of a shopping bag, and then you cover it up with fruit. I think it was oranges this time, right? So
that's right.
You have a bag of cocaine at the bottom of a bag of oranges. All right, great.
And the customary baguette.
Poking out. Yeah. Okay. Let's move to Isabel. Sebastian, tell us about yourself and Isabel.
Hi, I'm Sebastian, he, him, and I'm playing Isabel Mercedes Zagal, her. Isabel is a polizetta, which means basically a corrupt federal cop. She grew up on the streets of Durango with Lupe, her sister, um, and basically rose through the ranks of police until a couple of years ago, in an attempted assassination, she escaped, but her husband was basically shot and turned invalid, and then she and her husband and their kids moved away. Um, she continued rising through the ranks of the federal cops until there's been a recent call, basically top down, from policymakers to say we want to see good numbers in terms of loads of people arrested, loads of guns and cocaine confiscated in Durango. But that call brought her back to this place. Um, and basically, her main drivers are the fact that she's deeply indebted, like the medication and the housemaid and everything else, just upkeep for this family where she's the sole earner, just has her deep in debt. That's why she's basically both trying to make loads of money from the police, which literally has bounties out right now on people that you arrest and stuff you confiscate, and make money from the cartel at the same time. She's suspected by some of the people in her team, and she has some other dirty cops on her team as well. And the most recent shenanigans that she got in herself into, which we left her at, is she learned of a hit that was recorded on some CCTV footage. A hit that, for her, very clearly Angel did. Which also clearly showed a witness that she recognized from growing up in the city. It's one of her old classmates who is now a butcher. And she now basically tries to somehow get herself between the main police investigation and Angel, and somehow try to play this whole situation to her advantage, while her colleague is finding her behavior already pretty suspicious. And we left her entering one of the 5 local butcheries, which, isn't the one where her where the actual witness is, where she tried to clue in Saul, her main link to the cartel, but Saul wasn't available, so she pressured him to say, no, but after business hours, you need to be at Point X and we need to talk.
Right, but he pretty much hung up on. Actually, no. The cop that's suspicious of you, Zamora, budged in, and you had to hang up with Saul. And
Yeah.
and Zamora pretty much said, "Okay, fine, let's go." And so now you're driving around with the one cop that really is suspicious of you.
Exactly.
Right. Okay, great. Let's introduce Lupe. Brandon.
Hello. I'm Brandon. So I'm stepping into an existing non-player character role and making it a featured character. Lupe Ayala is Ignacio Ayala's separated wife. The strain on their marriage began when Ignacio had trouble keeping a job, and Lupe, as a result, got her real estate license and began to sell houses to supplement income. And has found that after she was supporting him and his bad habits after a while, and this is the beginning of their estrangement. They kept it together for a great deal on behalf of their son while he was young, but now that he is older, they chose to separate. She still wants to save Ignacio from the whatever awful things he has gotten in, and she has a pretty good suspicion as to the kind of thing they might be, although she doesn't know any details. But his disappearances for long periods of time, and the fact that she hears about his occasionally spending significant amounts of money and things like that makes her has triggered her suspicions. She hears enough gossip and rumors, and while she discounts a great deal of it as made up, she she knows that there are nuggets of truth in that stream. She's also very involved emotionally in the life of her sister, especially since Isabel, especially since Isabel is a younger sister, and the older sister traditionally clears the way for her younger sister. In this case, Isabel has a good job and she is an important person, but there is something wrong. She is unhappy or stressed in her existence, and Lupe is very concerned about that. She has many other obligations in the community, especially with regards to the church. But her family always takes precedence, and she has chosen this time to put her nose into things and straighten them out, one way or the other. She back when she was young, she had a fling with a beautiful young man named who was good for nothing, named Angel, but and that has reignited over the past few years. She knows. We'll fill in this in a moment, but she has a pretty good idea as to what Angel does for a living. But animal attraction supersedes all of that. When aspects of her life become difficult, sometimes it is with Angel that she finds this, and this probably began before she and Ignacio separated, during the times that Ignacio vanished for long, unexplained periods of time. She felt that if Ignacio was lying to her, well, she could lie back to him. And that is one of her secrets. The other is that that she has made more money in the real estate business than she ever told Ignacio, and has put away some money for disasters. And she has a feeling that the rainy day is going to come sooner rather than later. So she is. We will establish a little more with the enlaces here, but that is who Lupe is.
Great. Matthew and Brandon, I'm visualizing you guys having been separated for like 6 to 12 months. Does that work for you, or do you have a different number in mind?
I think that's a good number. What do you think, Brandon?
I think that's good. It's enough time. It's enough time for Ignacio to be, to get fully involved in his job without having to, look around. But it's not so long that, that their sort of customs of being with each other, will have completely drifted. And they still, I imagine that there's still, telephone calls and things like that. And of course, visits to, to see Alejandro. Who is Alejandro staying with? Who does he live with? Does he live with this? Because he might live with Lupe.
Yeah, I think he lives with Lupe. Yeah,
Okay,
I mean, it's important. It's important to bring him to church and all that stuff. So
yeah, and she's got, and she has a house and
Right.
and a place for him where he's not going to get, and try to make sure he doesn't get bullied at school and all that sort of thing.
I'm pretty sure my disappearances are.
Ignacio comes visits, and Lupe gives you shit every time you come visit late at night. And she, it's like you come in here and wake him up, and it's her yelling that wakes him up more often than you're coming there, but she still lets you spend time with him.
We established that Ignacio is living in sort of this crappy townhouse right next to Saul. So he's clearly been sending most of his money to you. He himself is living pretty poor. You, of course, have like some halfway decent suburban home somewhere,
Yes,
in a much nicer district. Okay, great.
He turns every time he turns up in that beater of his. Of course, another set of rumors fly about whether he is what he is using, whether he's drinking or using drugs, or kind of filth he's involved in, et cetera, et cetera. And Lupe has to put all those out.
Right. let's move on to Angel. Daniel, tell us about Angel.
Hello, my name is Daniel, pronouns he, him. I play Angel Machado, pronouns he, him, who is a sicario. He's a killer, a hired gun, who used to work for the Sinaloa cartel and then for some time tried to get away from it all. He was fed up with killing. But as he was trying to escape, the world of drugs, he pulled a lot of heat with him. He had a lot of heat on him, which means that people who want to get revenge for someone who is killed want to get that revenge on the guy who did the killing, and he realized that he couldn't survive on his own, so he went back to Durango, and he has been helped by Ignacio to get back, but now he's sort of like floating on the bottom of the hierarchy. He has to prove himself again, and his plan was to just do the job that was given to him without asking any questions or making any fuss about it. And his first job was to murder one of the cocineros, one of the drug producing people who were found out to do a little bit putting drugs on the side. Not Ignacio, but similar problem. So, and when Angel did this, he called Saul to help him. He wanted to bury the body in the desert, far away from Durango. But he was talked into by Saul into dumping the body in a part of the town which was sort of inhabited by Los Zetas, the other cartel.
It's not actually Los Zetas; it's the Gulf
Okay.
Cartel.
Oh, the Gulf Cartel. Okay.
Yeah, it's separate.
Sorry. Yeah. Okay. So, but that's like a rival cartel who had a little bit of influence in Durango, and Saul thought it would be a good idea to show a message to send a message about how strong our cartel is and what happens to people who defy us. So Angel decided to go ahead with this, although initially he didn't want to, and I suspect there are going to be some consequences because of this. So this is actually an interesting thing.
Okay,
he's a simple guy. He doesn't ask too many questions for now. He just tries to get by and stay alive.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so we have kind of, I think everybody's touched on these, but just kind of, nail it down. So we have a couple plots going right now, and I'm sure we'll develop them and link them together as we play. But we've got that there was this public shooting of this civilian right near the cathedral, which was filmed. It's all in the news. The police are mobilizing to find this killer that brazenly killed someone in a public space, especially near a cathedral, is bad news. So there's a manhunt going on, and then we have the cocineros, Matthew, Ignacio, it sounds like, is not the only cocinero that has been skimming drugs off the top. And we know that Saul and maybe others are then selling those drugs on the street under the Sinaloa's noses. All right. Let's me briefly mention safety. We had a good talk about safety last time. I mean, go back and listen to our discussion from last session, but briefly, we're using the classic Gauntlet stuff. We're using the Gauntlet Code of Conduct, which I summarize as don't be a dick, Open door. If you need to come and go for any reason, feel free to do so. You don't need to explain yourself. Hopefully you can come back, but if you can't, that's okay too. We're using the X card. If we hit any material, whether we've lined and veiled it or not, or whether you were comfortable with it previously, but now you're not, throw that X card on the screen or just say X card. And, we'll go back and we'll X stuff out and we'll just keep moving. I would not be surprised if that happens. Like we were talking offline a little before, when we mentioned Lies and Veils to Brandon, he's like, this is a cartel game. This is Narcos. This is a violent, nebulous, morally bankrupt kind of subgenre society, and we are likely to touch some stuff that's going to be uncomfortable for some of us or all of us. And we're using lines and veils. So we have lines and veils. What do we have? So for lines, we have homophobia and midichlorians. We have sexual assault, violence, and coercion. We have transphobia, infertility, and earthquakes. We don't want to see any of that stuff. For veils, we have slavery and torture by PC. So if we have that in our game, it's going to be behind a veil. We're going to fade out on it. And then for Ask First, we have propaganda, which is depictions, overly heroic depictions of cops. So if someone feels the need to have a heroic cop, bring it up to the table, and we'll see if everybody's comfortable with that. But otherwise, that's it for safety. We did discuss a little bit about being culturally sensitive. None of us are from Mexico. None of us, I don't know, I didn't ask you, Brandon. Do you speak Spanish? Do you have any background in Mexican society?
Sí, los dos. Yes, I both. I speak Spanish well, and I have connection with the housekeeper who brought us, who raised us, was Mexican. And so she would have family over all the time. Back when DC area was full of Mexican immigrants. And so we all grew up speaking Mexican Spanish.
Okay, great. So you definitely have some significant links then. So feel free, as we play the game, if anybody, especially Brandon, feels that we're being culturally insensitive or we're depicting things that are just not right, bring it up. Let's talk about it. We'll do our best to try to stay honest, try to stay sensitive to the culture. I mentioned, it's just some basic things. We're not going to use any accents. We're going to stay away from stereotypes. I think the best thing to do is just depict your characters as human beings. Don't worry about what culture they are. The game has a way of kind of trying to help us be more authentic, and we'll let the game kind of help do the work for us generally. So just play your characters, and just keep a little bit of in the back of your brain, a little bit of an idea of trying to be sensitive to the fact that we're playing a culture that most of us don't have a lot of connection to. Now we were both talking. A lot of us were talking about, okay, we got these enlaces. So last time, the enlaces are the bonds, the ties between the characters, and they definitely enrich our story dramatically. And last time each character has 3 of them, and we did 2 for each character, anticipating that Brandon would be joining us today. Each of you guys saved 1, and then we have the 3 that Lupe is going to be bringing to the table. So let's go ahead and first of all, let me just briefly go through and remind everybody what the enlaces we have. So we have for Angel, we have that Isabel got you out of a tight spot in the past. You won't die for them, but you both need to settle up soon. So you kind of owe a favor to Isabel. And also Ignacio got Angel back into the business. And at some point, if you guys come face to face, you might want to try to bring that up and how you feel about that. Then Ignacio, Isabel is family, your sister-in-law, and they don't know what you do for the cartel. And you're not sure you can keep your secrets for long. And then Isabel has sort of a parallel one, which is Ignacio's the target of an active investigation. You're not the lead investigator. So that tells us, in conjunction, that tells us that we were talking earlier, like, does Isabel know what Ignacio does? So it sounds like he would know. We know Isabel knows that he's the target of investigation, and she knows from Ignacio's enlace that he's involved with the cartel, but she doesn't know exactly what he does. And then Ignacio has another enlace with Saul, where they're in business together to make some money. And we've explained that as Ignacio, when he gets extra cocaine, he sells it to Saul, who then sells it on the street. Then Isabel grew up with Lupe on the, oh, actually, that you fill that up with the ones we did last time. We'll come to the ones you were going to add next here, but Ignacio is a target of investigation, and that Saul is her main contact in the cartel. All right, so then let's start with Brandon, and I think because you've done a good job of fitting your character into mixing in with the other characters, I think yours have already kind of written themselves, haven't they?
Yeah, they kind
Brandon,
of have.
yeah, go ahead and run down for us what you've come up with, and let's just make sure everybody's comfortable with what you decided.
All right, certainly. Saul and Ignacio and my spouse spend some time together, but I prefer it if they weren't involved in my life, and tell them what they did to anger me. And what they did is to anger me is to show up to my house and talk to my son without my fucking permission.
Okay.
Okay.
We'll run that by Pavel next time, but yep, that sounds
okay.
good.
And I I let them have it in no uncertain terms, and told them, darken my fucking door again, and you'll regret it. That I'm going to be scrubbing this place for a day to get rid of the stink that you brought in.
Okay. That sounds like Saul.
Well, no, maybe it wasn't stinky. This is just Lupe losing her temper.
Sure.
Isabel is Familia. She's my younger sister. I worry about them, and so tell them my fears. I know my fears, my very well-founded fears, is that someone's going to kill her.
Right.
And I'm going to stitch that into that may stitch into something, with Daniel's permission, that happened earlier. But I know that she is in terrible trouble. I don't know that she's on the take necessarily, but I know that things are not right. That she is not, just doing her job and things like that, and I'm very concerned.
Well, she's a lost federale in the middle of a drug war. It's a very dangerous job.
She's a very dangerous. It's a very dangerous job, but it's particularly dangerous for her because she's not just, as I said, she's not just doing her job. There's something else going on, and I have a feeling what it is, but I don't have proof. Angel and I were a thing back in the day, but it never went anywhere. It was just he was just gorgeous. Most people don't know about it. I was young once. That doesn't excuse why we have gotten back together. But it explains it a little bit.
Okay, good. We'll explore those as we play. Angel, you had one left. Read that out for us, and do you have anybody in mind for that one? And again, if it doesn't fit one of our PCs, that is fine. Think of an NPC then that might fill that blank.
Well, I have an idea actually. So my last which is left is someone fucked up something crucial, and I had to clean up the mess before things got messy with Los Federales or a rival drug cartel. So, but I'm thinking this would tie in well with Lupe, and I'm not sure if maybe we can change, because maybe we could tie in with change it up a little bit to tie it in with Lupe's secret about having a lot of money saved somewhere. If that's
sure.
fine.
That's certainly possible.
How would you change
That's
it
certainly
down?
possible.
Because probably I had an idea in mind that someone found out. I know about the maybe I'm not sure about because Angel is a simple guy. He's not sure about how much money it's involved, but maybe he has overheard something. And since Lupe didn't say anything to Ignacio or anyone else about the money, maybe there was someone who found out and wanted to spread it to tell them. And Angel, he killed him so that he doesn't, so that to keep her secret. Yeah.
What do you think? Go ahead, Brandon.
I think that would be cool. I have an alternative to offer you, and you can decide which one you think is more appropriate. The other one is that Lupe messed up your hit on Isabel. That she basically, she either got Isabel away, or she saw that you got bad information as to where Isabel was, or something. And she did it. I mean, after the fact. So, which is why you didn't succeed in killing Isabel in the first time. It wasn't that you were incompetent. It's that Lupe just got you not to kill Isabel. That she just pleaded with you, don't do this, and you listened.
Okay.
So that's
Yeah, that could work too. Yeah, I actually like that. Yeah.
Yeah, because if Lupe got wind of it, she would have thrown herself in the way, practically. Yeah. She said, "Kill me first," and she probably did. She's Reina del Drama, after all. She probably said, "You just pull a bullet in my head first. If you're going to kill my sister, just do it now. Do now." Or something like that.
Okay, I like that very much, because that could be maybe a trigger why it got too complicated for me and then I tried to leave the Durango.
I have added in, Jason. I have added into my obligations Javier, Isabel's husband.
Okay.
Who I feel, when Isabel is away, I feel an obligation to help take care of him.
Okay.
If that works.
Sure. I'll tell you what. Why don't you? Maybe you've already done it, but have it replace one of the others. Sure. I just don't. If the list gets too long, it's going to be hard to work with it. So just kind of.
Okay, I'm taking out the elderly grandparent. Okay. And I'll have it be my brother-in-law, because it's the same kind of thing.
Go ahead. So
done.
Daniel, go ahead and rewrite the enlace to fit with what you and Brandon come up with here. Okay. So just so that when we go back and read it, we'll remember. But I'll leave that to you. That sounds good otherwise. Let's move to...
Yeah, sounds very good.
Ignacio, you got that last enlace. Read it for us, and do you have someone in mind for it? You're muted, Matthew.
Sorry, I was actually thinking. I hadn't said anything. I think let's complicate this a little further. I love what Brandon and Daniel have come up with. Maybe the money that Ignacio is sending over is to help Javier. And we can say that Lupe and I have an understanding. We need each other for now, but both of us know the current situation won't last. How do you feel? Do you feel that works, or is that kind of like...
Absolutely. The bond here is, the money you're sending over is for, especially for Alejandro's sake, is necessary. Notwithstanding the nest egg that Lupe has put aside, and so she is, that's a large part of why she's putting up with you.
Yeah.
So does Isabel know that money is getting to Javier through Lupe, or is that a secret?
Lupe, I think Isabel knows that Lupe Lupe spends money, but Lupe has never mentioned it. But Javier has probably said, "Oh yeah, so we, Lupe brought over this, or took the kids out to something or something like that," and it's like.
I propose that maybe Lupe is passing off the money that we get for Javier and for Alejandro, like passing it off as just entirely her real estate rate.
Yes. The
Yeah.
real estate business has been pretty flat recently, actually. But
Yeah, but Lupe makes it out like she's just doing really well compared to her peers.
Sebastian, does this all sound good to you, or do you have anything to add since you're kind of caught up in this?
I'd be okay with that, sort of, provided Isabel wants to get out of that. So provided it's sort of, it's part of her, it's part of her pride, or it's part of her perceived obligations, where basically sort of she I don't know, she tries to pay back as much as possible off of that, because she doesn't like being dependent on her older sister. So that's part of her debts that motivate her to get out of under.
Absolutely. That makes perfect sense, that she would feel a little bit of, I mean, not shame exactly, but she would feel like she wasn't doing her job, not fulfilling her role as the breadwinner for her family. If she has to depend on, no, but of course, from Lupe's point of view, it's like, oh, what is family for? But it doesn't mean that it feels better.
Yeah,
that would help fuel your Lave, Brandon, family, where you violate your family members' boundaries to protect them. So in your mind, you're just doing the right thing. But
I'm just doing the right thing, right?
Isabel might see you kind of like intruding onto her space, right?
Yes, I'm doing it. Yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
and I'm not
that sounds
even
great.
so as part of that, I'm not even letting on how deep in debt I am with other places or other people as well. Like it's bad enough that my older sister gives me stuff, but the amount of my debt is actually even bigger than that. Yeah.
Got it. Great.
Okay.
Fantastic.
And then Sebastian, you have that third one. Go ahead and tell us about it, and who do you have in mind?
Yeah, so the third one that I hadn't filled in, but again, I think that would fit beautifully, is you grew up with blank on the streets of Durango. You still have a beer after work if you're both free. It's nice to know someone who isn't involved with either side of your double life. So I think that would fit beautifully for Lupe, where say, okay, now that I'm back in the city that I grew up in, this is sort of right, as much as I don't like the dynamic of my older sister helping me basically finance my family, well, at least this is a bit of a decompression space where I don't have to dissimulate in either direction. I just have to be, okay, I'm just a younger sister, and yeah, we can just chat family and not chat cartel and not chat police.
Yes, and Lupe, takes what you say at face value, it appears.
All right, great. Those all sound real good, and
delicious.
We are ready to get started. So first thing, in this game, when you start a session, you have at least 2 stress. Even if you ended last session below 2 stress, you put it to 2. Living this life is stressful. Everyone's already at least at 2, so nobody needs to change their stress. Great. Brandon, let me talk about stress briefly since you're just joining us today. So stress is really the only real economy you have to track in this game, other than experience, I suppose. And there's a little tracker right below where it says lifestyle. There's a little arrow with you can go from 0 to 5. If you get up to 5 stress, you're what's called overwhelmed. And when you're overwhelmed, you can't do any moves. You can't make any picks on a move that require you to increase your stress. So it really, when you're overwhelmed, there's a lot of stuff you just can't do. In addition, if you're overwhelmed, the game master, me, can come in and say, I want you to make a stress move. And there's moves, you can find them on the play materials. There's also a tab here called moves. And there are several stress moves: verbally abuse or shame people, lose yourself in a substance, confess your sins, or dish out a beatdown. They're all things that come with major downsides. There's no good stress moves. So that is the main way you can relieve stress. There's another way too. If you do the move, get the truth, if you get a hit, you can remove a point of stress. So pushing people to tell the truth is another way of reducing stress. That's how stress works. The stress will rise and fall a lot in this game. That's perfectly normal, nothing to worry about. And stress can come from events. It can come from moves. It can also come from physical harm. If you get shot or if you get punched or something, we might just say, okay, you take a stress. So you'll gain stress from various ways. But anyways, what was I going to say? So the stress starts at 2. We do start a session moves. We only played for an hour, so we're not going to do Isabel start a session move. We're not going to do Ignacio start a session move, but we will do yours, Brandon. And let's go ahead and do that. So your start a session move, it doesn't have a name. It's on the second page. It's down at the bottom of La Familia. So whenever there's a stretch of downtime in play, roll with hustle.
Okay.
This is kind of like seeing how you're juggling your obligations. You have what's your hustle?
2.
Probably pretty good. Okay.
Should put some dice in there.
Yeah, that'll help.
Yeah, that dice are good if you want a number. 9.
9. Okay. So on a 7 and 9, one of your obligations, your choice, becomes unmanageable. Which one of your obligations do you want to have in play today?
Let's see, Alejandro. Let's start
Your son?
with the most basic one. Yes.
Okay. And I will tell
Unless you prefer gossip and rumors, that would be
No,
awesome.
I like Alejandro. That works. The NPC will tell you who might be able to assist. Okay. All right. I think that leads right into our first scene then. Let's start with you, Brandon. Let's start with Lupe. I think we're hard frame you. It's afternoon at the end of the school day, and Ignacio goes to a very nice Catholic school. And you're sitting in the headmaster's office, which is probably a priest, right? Or maybe a nun. What do you think? A priest or a nun, or just a bureaucrat of some sort?
No, it's a church school. It's none.
Okay. So you're sitting there, and the nun is sitting across the desk from you, and she says, I'm sorry to bring you in, Senora Ayala. There's a problem with Alejandro.
What? Alejandro's a good boy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, he is a very good boy. You're right, but there was an incident, and there's no better way of saying it. He broke the nose of another kid.
Well, what did the other one do to deserve this?
She kind of blushes a little bit, and she says, "I don't know the whole story. You'll have to speak to your son yourself." But the boy, his parents are prominent individuals in our community, and well, they're demanding that Alejandro be expelled.
You're kidding me.
No, I'm sorry.
She mutters cabrones under her breath, but not probably so quietly that the nun didn't hear it. That's unacceptable. There must be some other way to handle this.
She leaves her she leaves her hands open. She goes, I'm willing to listen if you have any ideas.
This is, but boys roughhouse. What is so unusual about this? Can he just? She grinds her teeth. Apologize?
Well, you might speak to this other family. I'll tell you, the Reyes family are, like I mentioned, they're prominent people, and
Reyes.
Yeah, the Reyes.
Yes. All right. I am very disappointed that you would even think of doing something like this, because of the social distinction of these people. Is this not a school whose rules follow from God or from the Reyes?
I think you're on the edge of a couple different moves here.
Yes,
you're on the edge of, you could, if you push a little farther, you could maybe propose a deal of some sort. You could probably pressure her a little bit,
Yeah,
or a little bit more, or you could, or even you're trying to kind of a little bit of get the truth too. So push a little farther in the direction you want to aim for.
Sure. What's really going on?
Okay, that sounds like get the truth.
Yes.
So go ahead and let's roll that and see how. Let's see. Let's call this. Let's go with the classics. This is Mother Maria. Mother Maria, the head nun, or the what's a head nun called? What's a term for that?
A convent, it's a mother superior, but
Mother Superior.
I don't
Yeah,
know if it
superior.
is. I don't know if that's. I don't know if that applies outside of a convent.
We'll just call it Mother for now. That's fine. So okay, roll with hustle. You're good at that.
9.
9. Okay. So on a hit, you can reduce your stress by 1. So go ahead and do that.
It always makes me feel better to yell at someone.
Sure. And then you choose one from the list. So get the truth is a very interesting move. If you choose the first thing, which is they can't mislead you with the truth, they have to tell you the whole truth. If you choose they can't confuse you with falsehoods, they can't lie to you. And
Yes.
then the third one is they can't just stonewall.
Well, I think she's been telling me the truth, but not everything. So I'm going to pick the first one.
Okay. She says, well, you have to understand, the Reyes family have made a very large donation to the church in the last few months, a very prominent amount of money, I must admit. And we really have a dire need for major repairs to the school and to the church. It would be devastating to the parish if we were unable to, have these funds.
I see. Well, I say with the iciest tone I can manage. I understand now what the church's, what the school's priorities are.
And she has a little slip of paper and she slides it over to you and she says, "This is Commandante Reyes's phone number. Hopefully he won't mind if you call him."
Oh, I'll call him.
Let's close that scene there.
Mm-hmm.
And let us move to pick up with, actually it's 10:07. Why don't we take a quick break? Why don't we take a 5-minute break and we'll come back and we'll jump around everybody else and get some spotlight in everybody, okay? So let's take 5. I'll see you guys then. you probably wouldn't know it, Brandon, but Comandante Reyes is Isabel's boss in the police
Wonderful.
force.
Perfect. The Lupe's personality just jumped into my head at one point when I was thinking about her.
Should be she's got the drama move, right? Queen of drama.
She does. She does. No, that's kind of the cornerstone of the character.
Yeah. Your husband Ignacio has this same move, or a very similar one. Chilon is Ignacio's. He justifies himself with emotional outbursts roll with grit instead of face.
There was a reason we got together, you know.
Yeah.
But passion. There was, you know, it was passion. It's just not the right kind of passion.
Sure.
La pasión.
We'll see what happens.
We'll try to have this game not go into Pasión de las Pasiones.
Right.
That's
a Magpie game too. I haven't played it, but that's a Magpie game also.
It is, and it just strikes me that it would be possible, of course, to have a cartel game using Pasión de las Pasiones, a telenovela cartel.
Yep.
That would be wonderful in some awful ways.
Let me pick up with Angel. So Angel, I'm going to frame you. We see sort of a little bit of a montage of you driving with Saul into. I think you actually use Pablo said it's just Saul. So you're driving in with Saul into. I'm going to call it the Santa Cruz district, which is this district where apparently the Gulf Cartel has a few safe houses, and. I don't think he said anything about. Did he say anything about the Gulf Cartel? He just said, "Let's go dump the body over here." I don't remember if he said anything about why here.
Yeah, probably, yeah. I think he just said, "Let's send a message to, and this would be good with the bosses."
Right.
That's what I went with. Yeah.
So you're driving into this district, and we see, as you pass by, we see, someone go to a payphone and, frantically dial a number and call somebody after you guys have passed by. They've spotted you. Who knows who they're calling, right? And Saul drives you to this. It's a fairly nice district, maybe working class, but it's not a barrio. It's not a slum. And there's lots of like 2- and 3-story apartment buildings lining these busy narrow streets. And there's old warehouses, some of them occupied, some not. And, storefronts, little commercial storefronts along the street. And he takes you kind of to a quiet, maybe down a quiet street. And there's let's say it's like a half-finished apartment building. It's currently in construction, and we're reaching, it's kind of the early evening, and it's a hot day in the summer. So the workers have already called it a day, and they've gone home, leaving this construction site. So Saul stays in the car, and you've taken the body into this construction site. And tell me, where do you get rid of this body in this construction site? How do you hide it or, push it out of sight?
Well, I don't know, maybe.
Or we can just roll the dice, and then you can answer the question, maybe.
Yeah, okay. That would be good.
You have the move. What's it called? Encambajado.
Encobijado.
Okay.
Encobijado.
So when you ditch a body somewhere, roll a savagery.
Okay, my savagery is +1. What?
I think did you put the dice in?
Yeah. No. I just wrote let me see. Oh, okay, I got it now.
Okay.
This is.
Where did this body come from? Sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
This is a cocinero that I had to kill because I was told by the superiors in the cartel he was found to be skimming the drug
Gotcha.
process the same as Ignacio. So I just had to kill him, and Saul told us to he wanted to dump the body in this other part of the town so that we can send a message. So I got a 9.
Okay. So on that move, on a 7, on a hit, you lose the corpse and it stays lost. Clear of stress.
Okay.
Okay. So you succeeded. So yeah, again. So where do you think you dump this body? It's going to stay lost.
Okay, but isn't our intention for the golf cartel people to find it?
Well, that's what Saul was saying.
Okay.
You know?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Maybe I just I just found a good place for in this construction site for with my instincts somewhere where there's a maybe somewhere in the basement or a part that will be not found out for a long time. So I just take the body and I put it in the basement. I put it somewhere in the corner in the basement, somewhere where it may rot away, maybe if it's not found.
Okay. And you're down in there, and you get you hear sirens. You hear some sirens approaching, and you go up the stairs and you peek out towards the street, and you see Saul tearing away in his BMW. He just takes off, and a Los Federales, like a 4x4 vehicle, painted all with La Policia on the side, sirens blaring, comes speeding by after Saul. But another one pulls into this construction site, and 2 Los Federales with their pistols drawn come out, and you hear them say something like, "We should figure out what the hell that Pendeo was doing. Let's check this out." And they're starting to move to sort of explore where you're at. What do you do?
Well, I mutter some swear words to myself about Saul leaving without me. But I kind of understand because he had to if the police was coming. And I want to maybe stay a little bit. I try to get to stay hidden in the basement, but maybe I want to stay a little bit to find out about what the Federales were talking about. What were they looking? Because I thought we did, we didn't raise too much suspicion, so maybe they find something else.
Okay, so you're just going to try to stay hidden and maybe overhear what they're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay. All right, that sounds like push your luck. Let's push your luck and see how well you do. Roll with grit.
Grit. My grit is +2. So
you're gritty. Bam.
I rolled 13.
That's real good. Let's see, on 10 plus fortune pays with both. Okay, so I think they look around for a while, and they're like, there's nobody here, Pedro. And they pass some cigarettes around, and they light up, and they're like, the CI said that there was 2 people in the car, but Sergeant Gomez said there was only one driving away. They looked like that cabron, Saul. I wonder where the other one went. What do you do?
I just try to stay hidden to let them, or maybe if I can find a way to slowly get away, sneak away.
Sure. I'll tell you, it would be easy for you to kill these guys if you wanted to.
Okay.
I will say I'm tempting you to set you up though for your lobby because you have the mercy, right?
Yeah.
So I just make it clear that you could kill these guys, no problem, or you could just hide and they're gonna go away. You know, they have no clue.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I probably will not kill them. I will just try to sneak away, or to wait. Wait out until they go away.
Okay. So go ahead and mark. They do indeed drive away, and you can go ahead and mark an experience for mercy.
Okay.
In addition, you have successfully gotten rid of this body, so I think you can mark another experience for duty. You've done what your boss told you to do.
Okay. Then I have filled all 3 advancement.
You can pick it now. You can set it back to 0 and take an advance. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to say, as they drive away, you get a phone call, and it's the Jefe. The Jefe is calling. I'm going to leave it there, and we'll come back to you here in a minute.
Great.
Ignacio, I'm going to pick up with you. You were talking about buying some oranges. So I'm going to say you're near your home. You're stopping at it's a little bit of a market, a little bit of a, just a walking market in your community. It's full of people at the end of the day. Everybody's picking up stuff for dinner and whatnot, picking up their kids, walking home. It's a nice, busy, it's fairly pleasant. It's a pleasant, nice, it's hot, but it's starting to cool down a little bit. Sun's starting to fall. And you're going through this fruit market, and you're picking out all the best oranges, even though you're not planning to eat them anyways. You're going to give them to Saul. Maybe Saul, I guess, will eat them, right? Isabel, is the car that you drive, is it marked police, or is it an unmarked car?
Right now, that's an unmarked car. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a car drives up, and Isabel steps out. Isabel, and I guess it's your sister-in-law, so you would recognize her immediately. So Isabel steps out, and I think you said she wears fairly formal wear.
Yeah, fairly right? sharp, formal business wear. I mean, she has she has a gun underneath, kind of a jacket suit, sort of a suit with fitting suit pants.
Mm-hmm. Okay. And she steps out of the car. They park, on the side, and they step out. And with her is a fairly good-sized man, a little heavy, with a goatee. I have a picture for him on our People, Places, and Things. This is Agent Zamora, her partner for today. And Zamora says, he says to you, Isabel, we'll say, just kind of standing to the side. Isabel hasn't seen you necessarily, Ignacio, but Zamora says to you, Isabel, he says, okay, the butcher's over there. Do you think this is the one you spotted on the video?
There's a good chance. I mean, to some extent, because of their costumes, they all look similar. But yeah, I think there's a decent chance we're going to go here. If not the next one, I'm pretty certain.
Mm-hmm. So he says, well, let's hurry over there. It looks like they're closing down for the day. And as you start to walk over there, you do indeed see Ignacio picking through some oranges, kind of giving you side eye off to the side. Do either one of you approach or talk to each other at all, or you just kind of pretend not to see each other?
I think Ignacio definitely pretends not to see Isabel. Ignacio immediately sort of just looks down, and he just picks at the fruit. There's only maybe a second when he looks up, but rest of it is just averting gaze. And right now, Ignacio is dressed in a sort of in a suit. It's the kind that you would sort of a a jacket. Nothing. It's not a very expensive suit, but it's something you would wear to sell something, right? And that's the kind of guys that he makes. The lie that he's told Lupe and pretty much anyone else is that he's currently involved in some computer sales.
Okay.
Yeah.
Isabel, you spot your brother-in-law. Do you just keep going, or do you approach him or anything?
Well, I think my main focus right now is business day, so this has to be short. But still, this is a bit of a welcome relief for me. So I'm just shouting over, "Hey, Ignacio, how are the sales going?"
um, Ignacio looks up and then sort of you know tries to conceal an annoyed expression. Doesn't do a very good job of it, and sighs and knows that now he has to deal with the situation, and goes, doing okay.
Cool. I
Um,
still need to get back to you for that monitor we've been talking about. Like mine is tiny here. It's like, I don't know, 21 inch, and they still have these cathode rays. I don't even know where they're getting them from.
I'm not gonna get. I could actually get away with talking in technical detail about monitors, but for the sake of the group, I won't, and just say Ignacio just goes like, oh, what you need is this, and this and that. It's just sort of trying to make a small talk. But he you could tell Ignacio's just trying to rush through this conversation as well, and he's basically going, that he'll send you the specs or he'll send you the stuff, and he's just trying to pack his groceries as quickly as possible so he can leave.
And Zamora points at his watch. He says, "Come on, agent, we gotta take care of business."
Yes, we have. Okay, good to see you, Ignacio. My regards to my sister.
Goes,
And,
go ahead.
No, I'm sorry. I wasn't.
Okay. So you guys go inside, and indeed, the butcher shop look like they're in the process of closing it up. They're closing all the cabinets. There's a lady, working the counter. There's a couple guys that are taking, piles of meat back into the freezer area. Maybe it looks like it's only a few people. It's a small little mom and pop shop. And like we said, Isabel, this is not the one, right? But
Yeah.
Zamora doesn't know that. So how do you handle this?
So I approached the main person at the counter, saying, "Hola," introduce myself, Isabel, Mercedes Sagal, and Zamora, I don't know, Miguel Zamora. We're here from the federal police, and we're here looking for a potential witness. Does any of your butchers look like the person on this picture? And I think I have a printout of the video that shows one of the witnesses, that shows the witness.
And the woman at the counter, she takes it from you and she starts to look at it and she goes, Meanwhile, outside, Ignacio, you've gathered up your oranges and you're turning to leave, and two pickup trucks with all kinds of bling, fancy pickup trucks come driving up, and each of them, they just kind of pull in and they sort of block off this area of the street, so like there's one on one side where the butcher's is and the street, and the other on the other, and the guys jump out and you see that there's about 4 guys and they all have pistols in their waistbands. It's very clear to you, and they're in streetwear. You got a lot of tattoos. These guys look cartel, and they couple of them they're like ordering the civilians to get out of here, clear the way, while the other 2 start to move towards the butcher shop. What do you do?
So she's not, Ignacio nods, like I guess he's also being given these thugs are being given the general order to just clear out, right? And Ignacio nods his head, it's just I would say, get the fuck out of your way. And so he hurries over to his car, gets in, shoves the groceries to the side, and proceeds to text Isabel and
Okay.
try to warn her of like, these shady guys were outside, and
We
say
said,
like,
1 second. We said that, so we're in 2007. I said last time there's no smartphones, but there are cell phones. Would there be texting in 2007 with a cell
there would be
phone?
texting. There
Okay.
would be texting.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of clumsy, and not a lot of people do it though.
Yeah. We'll say you guys all have, sufficient phones to do that, though. That works. So yeah. Okay. So Isabel, you get a little. Is it a ding, a buzz, a ring? What is
Te-
it that tells you got a text?
Actually,
Um,
texting. Sorry, texting is very commonplace in third world countries, and I presume because it's cheaper than calling.
Right. Right.
In those rates, and we didn't have good phone infrastructure. We didn't have good telephone infrastructure, so
Right.
Okay. So I noticed the buzz, and I'm kind of looking at Zamora and say, can you handle this conversation? Sorry. I just have to look at this for a second. So I hand it over, look at the phone, try to kind of keep it close to my face, flip it open, see the text message. So what does the text message say?
the text message says, and the spelling is garbage, but it's like, there's there's some dudes, some bad dudes outside. It says, I don't know if this is your business, but heads up.
Okay.
Yeah. And you look up and you see, there's probably a big like shop window, right? And you look out and indeed you see that there's these thugs, that scene that I described, and a couple of them are moving towards the butcher shop, and you see one of them pulls from the back of the truck a what they call a goat horn, which is an AK-47 with a long magazine.
Is that something I see, or that's something
That's what Isabel sees. She gets this message and she looks. I mean, you see it too. You're off to the side, but you can see it from your car. But Isabel looks up, and these guys are coming right at this butcher shop, and one's got an assault rifle.
Okay.
What do you do, Isabel? Zamora goes. He's talking to this butcher, this clerk, like he doesn't recognize what's going on.
Okay. I tap Zamora on the side and saying, cartel visitors, call reinforcements, clap my phone into, and sort of clap him on the shoulders, and try to make sure that he doesn't turn around and basically find kind of the mirroring surface and point to a mirroring surface so that he can just look forward to the cashier and see what I'm pointing at.
Okay.
His
immediate reaction is he starts to reach for his sidearm.
Yeah.
Do you want to try to stop him from doing so, or he wants to spin around and draw his weapon? Do you try to stop that, or let him do it?
Smooth. Don't scare them. There's an assault rifle in the room. With the two of us, this is not a gunfight we want to get into.
I think let's go ahead and let's do that as pressure someone. Yeah, let's pressure someone. It's a quick, just momentary thing, but you're putting some effort into it, some emotion into your words. So let's see how that works.
Yes, that's a hustle. So that's a +1, and then let's see what happens.
Nice.
It's an 11.
All right, great. They see your point. They're going to follow your lead or mark stress. I think in this situation, first of all, I think both of you guys, Matthew, you're kind of out of the firing zone. You don't need to take a stress, but Isabel, take a stress. And Zamora's taking a stress also, but he's going to follow your lead. And he kind of just brings his hands up and tries to act casual. And he's looking in the mirror though, and you see a bead of sweat coming down his forehead.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, I am stressed actually.
Okay, yeah. I guess it is your sister-in-law. So yeah, go ahead and take a stress. She's in the firing line, but yeah, she's the one in the big danger here.
Also, you have to worry. We have to worry what they do about witnesses.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
Sure. And generally speaking, as long as the witnesses keep their mouth shut, they're okay. But if anybody talks,
yeah, it's still stress. That's why it's stressful.
Yeah,
it's
that's true.
Can't talk about what happens to my own sister-in-law.
So, I think
I'm gonna try and I don't know, project some command of the situation walk out very slowly in a very affirmative way that tries to bodily signal I know what's going on here, but I'm still keeping calm. And then kind of address whoever looks like the the hat person here. Is that seizing up first in order to figure out who that might be, or
Let me see if that'd be useful for you. Otherwise, I'll just tell you. Size someone up. I think we'll do both. I'll tell you for free. I'll tell you that there, like I said, there's a couple guys that are clearing out the people out of this little area.
Yeah.
And then there's one guy with a pistol in his hand, and there's another guy with this AK-47, and that are approaching the butcher shop. The guy with the pistol seems a little bit older. He's kind of telling the other guy, "Let's get this motherfucker." You know, he seems to be giving the orders, so he seems to be the boss.
Okay.
But if you want, as you're walking out, if you want to be like having that split second, like checking out this whole scene to try to figure your angles, I'm happy for you to roll size someone up if you want.
I'll do that. That's a -1 because savagery is not my thing, and that's a lovely 3. Okay.
Great. Okay, great.
That doesn't really seem to have a
miss condition. Yeah, it's just basically I make a move.
Doesn't have a downsize. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let me look at my moves. I have one in mind, but let me see what else I have options for here. Where is that?
Yeah, the games master can always make a hard move on a miss.
Yeah, I'll make a hard move. I'll make a move.
It's kind of baked into the PBTA.
So the guy command, he says, these fuckers had their chance to clear out of here. Let's ice this place, Julio. And the guy with the AK-47 just brings it to his shoulder and just lets loose at this butcher shop, just starts lighting it up. What do you do as you see that they're going to open fire, Isabel, in the split-second moment?
I'm just gonna shout dive, and I'm gonna dive myself behind whatever I feel like is the closest cover. And then afterwards I try to, somehow shout them and convince them the fact that they're shooting at Federales right now, and then hopefully that'll convince them that they chose the wrong moment.
All right, so we see you maybe jumping behind, maybe there's a curb, not a curb, but like a bench or something that's sitting there, and you're yelling out, Los Federales, as they open fire. Let's have you push your luck.
Don't get shot.
Yeah, oh, great. So that's +1. Okay. I know why I left this city. That's a 12.
Okay. Great. So they light it up, and you got out enough word. Zamora jumps behind the counter. They light up this place. And the guy in command, the thug in command, yells something like, everybody keep their mouths shut. We'll be back. And they start to sort of back away, back towards their trucks. And you've yelled out Los Federales, and he says, he takes out a wad of money and he just throws it at you. He just says, you keep your mouth shut too, cop. It looks like they're moving away.
If you don't mind my asking, after they open fire and displaced and throw money at the cops, like, in what manner are they leaving?
Looks like they've done what they needed to do, and they're just backing away. They're keeping their eyes, at you, Isabel, and towards the shop. But like the guys that were doing crowd control have jumped into the driver's seat of these two trucks, and the other two guys are sort of backing away towards the trucks. Looks like they're going to jump in and cruise on out of here. Seems to be their intention.
Okay.
Okay.
So when all of them pack into the truck and the truck immediately starts scrubbing up, I think what Ignacio will do is start the car and sort of like back as quickly as he can to crash the truck.
You want to crash your truck into your car into one of these trucks?
You reverse it, yeah.
You're just gonna
Okay.
Just try to,
Um,
yeah,
all right. You're gonna try to like stop one of these trucks, right?
yeah.
Okay. Isabel, in that moment as they're backing away, is anything you wanted to be doing? You're in cover right now. You got a bunch of money softly blowing in the street in front of you.
Um, I'm gonna be basically more or less freezing in that situation and just
Mhm.
kind of try not to make any kind of threatening move, because against an AK,
Right, right.
if I had my bulletproof vest on, maybe, but it's in the back of the car, so no.
Yeah, that's probably true. All right, Ignacio, you gun it, and you're. What kind of car do you have?
It is this. Oh, we didn't specify that. I guess it says a decent car, so I think maybe something like a.
Honda Accord,
Yeah, I was
Camry
thinking.
kind of thing.
I
Yeah.
was thinking a Honda Accord. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, let's see how this goes. I think this is definitely a push your luck.
All right. Yeah. I was wondering if
Unless you think there's a
um
better fit.
no.
Are you trying to? What are you trying to do? Are you just trying to stop the car, or are you trying to hurt these guys?
I'm trying to stop the car, so that Isabel will have the opportunity. I mean, I can't communicate this to her, but so that she and her partner have the opportunity to react back at least.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yeah, I
push your luck.
think it's a push your luck then.
Yeah. 2. Okay. 2d6 plus
Plus
2.
grit. You're pretty gritty.
9. 9. What is a 9? A 9 is things don't work out like you hoped. The MC will tell you how you can turn things around if you act quickly, make an ugly choice, or tough it out.
Sure. I think you can succeed in this, but the way the crash is going to happen, you're going to be looking out your window right into the eyes of this guy with the AK-47. You're going to hit them. You're going to push their truck, and their truck's going to slam into the side of your car, and this guy's going to be right there, 2 feet away from you, looking through the open window at you. Does that work for you, or do you want to just miss and fail? I think you're muted or not talking.
I'm a dumbass and I was muted. I said I'm taking that. I'm having my big dumb face in front of this guy.
Okay.
I did not expect my car to tip over so hard, that I would be so close to danger.
Okay, so I'm going to say the other truck has sort of sped off. So you only got this one truck, the guy with the AK-47 and a driver, okay? Isabel, you see this happen. You see your brother-in-law has done this. Maybe not the smartest thing.
Yeah. I just shout.
Look like he's about to get fucking shot.
I just shout shit and scream back to Zamora, call for fucking backup, and then. So I see that the person with the AK is facing him.
Right, he's about to put some bullets through his brain.
Yeah, then I'm gonna try and take that person out. So I'm gonna pull my gun and try to take that one out through the window. Yeah.
All right, let's turn to violence.
Let's turn to violence.
Now, you did declare yourself as a federale. You have this move that allows you to use a different stat when you do that.
Exactly. Hassle instead of savagery, so it's +1 instead of -1.
Right? All right, great. That should help.
I
So
would hope
roll it
so. I would hope so in the interest of my family. Else I have to explain something to my sister. That's another
Look at that-
12.
Look at that
I
roll.
like it.
Nice. All right. So on turn to violence, when you get a 10 plus, you get to choose 3 from the list. So whenever you turn to violence, first of all, you take a stress. So just give yourself a stress. One of your options, though, is to get that stress back. So you can, if you choose that option, you'll get that stress. You'll reduce it back down. So you can inflict terrible harm with your sidearm. You can suffer little harm. You can resist marking stress. You can avoid collateral damage. You get to choose 3 of those.
I choose that I inflict terrible harm, that I resist marking stress, and I avoid collateral damage, because I'm less concerned about myself right now. I'm more concerned that my brother-in-law doesn't get his face blown off. Yeah. Okay.
I think I'm comfortable with you. You kill both of these thugs. Tell me what that looks like. You avoid hit your best marksmanship you've ever had, and you nail both these guys without hitting anybody else. Go ahead and narrate what that looks like for me.
So basically, after I say shit, I draw my gun and try to get kind of a steadiest square stand immediately from where I am, with a steady hold on my gun. Give myself the shortest period of time just aiming, and then aim and get the person with the AK through the head. And I realize, okay, now I have maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds shock for the driver. So I immediately sprint from where I am and sprint on the side of the truck, so between the truck and basically, on the other side of the truck, so on the side where the driver is, because the AK would be then the side person where my brother-in-law just crashed the car. So the other side, we see that the driver is still kind of a bit in a daze and a shock, with blood splattered over his face, looking at the person with the AK, and I'll just put the gun straight through the window, and finish him with 2, 3 follow-on shots.
Great. And you suffered little harm. They weren't even aiming at you, so I don't think they even get any shots off. You've gotten through this without a scratch.
Jason, she didn't pick suffer little harm.
Oh, you didn't pick that one?
No, I picked that.
You didn't pick the marking stress, right?
Exactly.
Right. I think you picked the other 3. Yeah. So you took the stress, and then you had the other 3. Got it.
Mistake.
Yep, that's good. Let's close that scene there. We'll maybe pick up moments later after when we come back. I want to get a scene with Angel and Lupe. Does that work for you guys? Do you have any ideas?
Yes, because I'm going to. I want to find out more about what's going on with Ignacio and with Isabel, and I'm going to pump Angel for information.
Right. Let me do one quick thing with. I'll just do an info dump for you, Angel. So we'll assume you called the Jefe back, and the Jefe tells you, we've got a witness to what you did this morning. You need to clean this up. Our friend in the police department tells us that it's a butcher. And I'm going to text you the addresses of all the butchers in town. They need to stay quiet permanently. Okay? So you've been given this assignment by the Jefe.
Okay, I say, don't worry, sir. It will be handled immediately. Yeah.
And he says, I've got some of the boys running around. So soldiers are running around doing the same thing. So, you know, by the end of the day, by dawn, I want them all dead or quiet. Okay. So yeah, let's Lupe and Angel then it can be hard. Go ahead and frame a scene where the two of you are together.
Okay, so yeah, maybe I want to. I mean, if there's, I think maybe I can visit Lupe somewhere.
Yes, and
Because as
we have a motel room where nobody asks
Yeah.
questions.
Okay, so I just text her to meet me there. I go to my car and I just go there for that. That's for the first thing I do. Yeah.
Okay. So let's
Okay.
pick up with you guys. Who got there first? Probably Lupe. Lupe's there. Let's say Angel, you come through the
Yeah.
door. You got your key in the no-tell motel, and what's Lupe look like?
She looks
How's
good.
she dressed today? Yeah, she looks good.
Oh, she looks good. She always looks good. It is a yeah, she is she's dressed. She's got a silk shirt and a nicely cut skirt that goes just right down to the knee. Not too flashy. Very very fashionable. Red high heels. Her hair is perfect. Her nails are perfect. She's sitting on the edge of the bed. Smoking a cigarette, and when Angel comes in, she blows a big cloud of smoke in his direction and licks her lips a little bit.
I close the door behind me and I look at her and I say, oh, this is just the sight I wanted to see right now. Because I've been in a little bit of trouble.
Come here, baby. Tell me all about it.
Okay. So I kiss her and I say there's been a problem with a butcher. There's been a witness that needs to be taken care of.
Business.
Yeah, business.
I don't care so much about your business.
I don't have much time because I have some things to do.
You've got
So
enough time. You've got time enough.
Okay, why don't you tell me how your day was?
I'm dealing with cabrones at my school. The Reyes family wants to get little Alejandro expelled. I'm going to give them a piece of my mind.
That's a bummer.
I'm more concerned about what Ignacio is doing.
Ignacio?
Yes.
What do you mean?
You know exactly what I mean.
Do you want me to check on him?
He's in trouble, isn't he?
I don't recall. Daniel, do you know Ignacio is involved in the cartel? I don't recall. I guess you probably would, wouldn't you?
If I don't know this, I'm not going to push it. If this isn't true, I'm not going to push it.
I think he would, though. I'm looking at the enlaces. Keep going. Ignore my intrusion.
I think, I think I know that Ignacio. Maybe I have a hint, a clue that Ignacio, because I was listening on the Saul's phone call with Ignacio, and they seemed a little bit nervous. But I'm not sure I know exactly what is happening with
No,
Ignacio.
I think you know he's involved. You probably know he's a cook, but you don't know he has this side thing with Saul.
Yeah. Because I have contact with him. I know him because he helped me,
get back into this.
Yeah.
Ignacio and computadores don't make me laugh.
What do you want me to do? I can check up on him. You want me to get him out of trouble, or do you want me to?
I need to know what's going on.
I can do this for you.
So I think, Angel, you might say that, but in the back of your mind that would be very dangerous.
Yeah, of course.
She doesn't know. You probably know from experience that she has some suspicions of her husband, but she doesn't really know. And the cartel is not going to want her to know, of course, right? And it's also dangerous for her to get involved or to know about it. And if you care about her at all, you might not want to. So I think it's fair to get Lupe to pressure you here. See how if that plays on you.
Okay.
So Brandon, I think it's a pressure someone.
Okay, absolutely.
Roll with hustle, which you're good at.
Stick to your strengths, my mother always said.
Mm-hmm.
But not. I misnamed
this
it.
time.
I misnamed
Yeah.
it, but not this time.
So I'm gonna Angel. Let me
Am I
think
going
for a
to?
second.
I think I'm going to spoil a moment here.
Yeah, maybe. I think Angel, you can tell, you know her well enough to see what she's trying to do, and you're maybe in your mind you're one step ahead of her. So you can go ahead and if you want to propose a deal, get the truth, or pressure her in return, you can automatically get a 10 plus.
Hmm. Uh, I'm not sure. Yeah, I'm not sure what I want to do about this, because I feel like I'm just wanting to handle my things first, if that's okay.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe, if I say I want to, I'll take care of it, I don't really mean it right now. So I just, just to keep her happy, I want to, I say, oh, no, don't worry, I'll take care of it, but I'm not meaning it in a,
Right.
in a way that
You
Because
want her to just shut up and kiss you or something, right?
yeah, something like
yeah,
this. Yeah.
and because I can't, and because I blew the role so badly, I'm going to accept this half truth.
Okay.
Yeah, because you have the option. Oh no, I guess you flat out missed it. So he gets a 10 plus on you. He's basically trying to pressure you to shut up and kiss me.
Yeah.
So on a pressure someone on a 10 plus, they see your point. They have to follow your lead or mark stress. So you could keep going if you wanted to, Brandon, but you'd have to take a stress.
Well, I'm about to clear my stress track, so it's an interesting situation. So I think I'm just going to add a little narrative in order to do that, rather than anything that makes a move. Which is, I say, all right, cabron. Yeah, okay, fine. I can tell. Shut up and kiss me, just as well as anybody else. I say out loud. But sooner or later, you're going to tell me what's going on.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Just kiss me now. I need some, stress relief.
We all need it, sweetheart.
Right.
But
let's go ahead and go. Lupe's got. How do you say that? Paderzi.
Perderse.
Paderse.
Means to lose yourself.
All right.
Okay.
So you got to move Lupe where you roll with face as you become intimate.
Yes. Oh, and minor thing, Jason. The keys are pronounced Yavis.
Yavis. Yeah, I always mispronounce that one. Sorry.
That's all right. It's just
Yavis. Yeah.
That double L is that's such a funny pronunciation. Okay, I got a 7, which means that you can ask a question. I'm going to clear my.
They see you truly. They can ask one question. You must answer it honestly. So maybe there's a little bit of pillow talk.
Okay.
Angel can ask a question. She has to answer honestly.
Okay, so because I want to get the conversation away from me helping her about Ignacio, helping you about Ignacio, I just ask you. So what are your plans with Reyes, with Comandante Reyes? What do you plan to do about this?
I'm going to talk to him, and I'm going to persuade him that what he's doing is short-sighted. I don't know how, but I'll think of something. You can tell that she's not sure that she has command over the situation. Because she's not dealing with somebody on her level. She's dealing with with a family that has a lot more money and influence, and who has bought their way into the uh,
Yeah.
in this case into the school's graces in a way that she cannot duplicate.
Yeah.
And she is terrified what will happen to Alejandro if he gets kicked out of school, because she has seen what happens to the other kids who get expelled, that they end up with gangs.
Okay, so maybe that's a lengthy discussion. So then maybe that's more like the cigarette afterwards, right?
Yeah.
Okay, let's close there then, and let's take another break. Let's take a 10-minute break. I'm gonna grab a banana or something, and I'll see you guys in 10. Matthew, are you there? Maybe not. So for this last hour, basically, I'm going to let you guys decide where your scene's going to be and who with. So start thinking about what you'd like to have on the table next. You can pick up where we left off with your characters. You can go on a tangent. You can, whatever you want to do. I want to see where you guys want to take it. Give you some room. My mind is spinning at what's going to happen secondary to Matthew crashing into a Sinaloa truck.
Yeah, so
when that word gets out, might be some consequences, right?
Yeah, well, especially because it's happened in a public place, right?
Mm-hmm.
And even though everybody is told to keep their heads down, gossip flows.
Sure.
I was thinking because I wanted to track down the butcher,
Mm-hmm.
and maybe I have seen him, so maybe I can find out. I have a couple of ways to find out the exact butcher it is. So maybe I'm thinking if I can maybe arrive at the place when something is still happening there.
I would like scenes with both Ignacio and Isabel, if one of them is willing to.
That's what I
myself, because they are, my family connections, and we haven't in person established them, and certainly we have something to talk about after this afternoon's.
Okay. So Daniel, you want to kind of show up at this gunfight, this scene of that fracas?
Because I was thinking I have a police scanner, so maybe I can. Find out where the stuff is happening. Also, I have a move when I can track down an NPC.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe I can just use the police scanner to find out that something is happening at this butcher's place, and maybe arrive at the time while Ignacio and Isabel are still there, and maybe I can. There's some way Lupe could go together with me, so we can all meet at the.
Yeah, that's a good idea. You might be giving her a ride somewhere, right?
Yeah.
And you guys want to have everybody together? Does that sound appealing, or is that too much?
Well, the place it's going to be crawling with federales for a little while, right?
Yeah. It can be an hour later. It can be. I mean, it doesn't have to be. We don't have to go moment to moment. We could frame it later in time if you want. I mean, you guys have been off having your rendezvous for a little bit here.
Yes, Lupe. Well, the only thing against that is that Lupe and Angel's liaison is a secret.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's true.
That's right.
She would not. She wouldn't show up with him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
But
yeah, maybe I can. If I have some information, maybe I can tell you that. Ignacio, if Isabel is, or maybe that Isabel is there. That's what we can pick up on the police scanner.
Maybe your scanner. Maybe you turn on the scanner when I can still hear it.
Yeah, maybe. And then you can find out about this, and we don't have to go together. Just find a way to.
No, I'll take my car. I have a car.
Yeah. Okay.
Of course.
Great.
I have a nice car. It's nicer than yours.
Yeah, my car is a piece of shit. So. You're right about that.
No, and also So we have our liaison. I get cleaned up and looking impeccable again, and then the police scanner report goes off.
Okay.
I shoot you a look, like I know you know more than you've been telling me, but I don't say anything.
Right. The scanner says something like. 2637, just making up numbers. Agent Zagal and Agent Zamora engaged in a weapons fired, and they give the address, Jose's butcher shop on, in whatever, you both picture, you can both get there, whatever. So yeah, that goes off. So you two separated at that point then, I take it? You take okay. Yeah. And just to be clear, so like my initial question, should we use our time to have a session like all four of you guys together at the scene, or do you want to split up into groups and have or separate scenes? How do you want to do it? Let me ask Matthew. What's your opinion?
Well, I think where Ignacio would be positioned at this point is with Isabel and his partner having contained the situation, would probably follow some kind of federal or police procedure of taking statements and
Right.
whatever whatever will make Ignacio's life a little bit more inconvenient.
Okay, so let's start with that. So let's frame it's an hour or two later. It's been roped off. All that police tape stuff is closed off this area. There's quite a few police cars spread about the area. There's a lot of cops moving around, measuring stuff, policing up the bodies of the thugs. Somebody's questioning the butcher shop clerk, and Matthew, Ignacio's in the back seat of Zamora and Isabel's car. And maybe you got like a little bandage over your forehead or something. You got a little broken glass or something on your forehead. Let's have it there. And then Angel and Lupe, again, if you guys want to jump in, just tell me at what point you arrive and what you do. But let's start with those two guys and Zamora in the car. And Zamora, he's looking over you're in the back seat, and he looks over the front seat, and he reaches out and he goes to shake your hand, and he goes, "You're either the stupidest or bravest son of a bitch I've ever met." He says that to you, Matthew.
Yeah. Ignacio is just silent for a moment, and just nods his head and just sort of goes, doesn't really say anything.
Why did you do that?
Ignacio glances to Isabel and says, maybe stupid is the right word. Maybe, I saw what was coming, and I texted Isabel to warn her, and I felt bad about that. I felt like it wasn't enough. It wasn't, like texting and just giving a warning didn't feel like, feel like I was looking out for my sister-in-law in the way, someone should have.
I think you're justifying your behavior. So let's go ahead and roll them dice.
Yeah.
That's with
Face.
face.
Yeah, but with grit because of Ignacio's chisel. No.
Make it more emotional. I'll give it to you. Sure. Do it again, but with more emotion.
Yeah, take two.
Turn it to 11.
Yeah. It's just. I'm no hero. Listen, I felt like shit. I felt like absolute shit. My sister-in-law. I saw what was coming, and what did I do? I fucking texted her. That's embarrassing. I knew I had to do something, and I'm no tough guy. I'm not a clever man. I just I just decided to like take on the danger I saw, and to hell with the consequences. And maybe that was the stupidest thing, but I haven't clearly I haven't gone far in life trying to be gentle, trying to be and sort of like Ignacio just loses it, sort of letting go like all of the insecurities and hang-ups he's had over the rest of his adult life, and just trying to assert himself.
All right, that sounds great. So I'll go ahead and roll with grit.
11.
Bam. All right. So on a 10 plus, If they accept your reasoning, they get. Oh, actually, for NPCs. On a hit, they accept your logic. I think that's it. So he goes, well, I can understand that. Thank you. Thank you very much. There's probably going to be a target on your back now. Better watch out. And he looks at Isabel and he says, we'll see what we can do for your brother-in-law, right, Isabel?
And I think that's the point at which I'm going to explode and just unload some of my stress. And I'm just going to dress you down. So
let's hear it.
So you pinche pendejo, what do you think? Have you watched too many telenovelas? Like, this is Durango, and this is my first day back in the city, and you immediately get me and my partner and yourself shot. You painted a target on yourself. You painted a target on my sister. You painted a target on me. You're no action hero. You're just a lowly PC salesman with kind of no clear thinking whatsoever. This is 15 levels above your head, and if it was after, and I completely see why she wants to separate from you. And if this was up to me, then she totally should. And
that sounds great. Go ahead and roll verbally abuse or shame. Roll with face.
Okay, so that's +1. Let's see. 10.
10, great. On a 10 plus, clear your stress track.
Yay!
On a hit, your words hit them hard. Tell them to mark stress. So Ignacio, take a stress. This hits hard.
Yeah.
Okay, at this point, this is when Lupe shows up.
Okay. Zamora, I'm gonna have Zamora leave the car. He shakes his head, he gives you both a smile, and he says, "This sounds like La Familia business. I'm gonna go see what these pendeos are doing." And he leaves the car. Okay, but go ahead, Brandon. Tell us where Lupe comes in.
So this, I'm going to assume that Lupe has gotten the fundamental details of what happened out of some policia.
Okay.
That she's just browbeat someone into telling her what happened. Because
we'll do it off screen. We don't have to do it, but just roll the pressure someone just to see how that works.
Sure.
Because you're just a random civilian to them, right?
Oh well, no, I'm not a random civilian. I'm going to invoke Isabel because I know she's here.
Okay. Let's go roll it anyways, just to see if there's anything.
13.
Yeah.
13. This guy caves like a tissue paper.
Yeah. We might not even. We don't hear your words. We just see you waving your hands, talking a mile a minute. Just gesticulating, and he's like, "Fine," and he says, "Go ahead."
Okay. I'm going to go over there. I'm going to go up to the police car, yank the door open, and pull Ignacio out, and I'm going to slap him.
Okay.
Just pow.
Yeah.
What the hell do you think you're doing? You asshole. Are you going to leave Alejandro without a father? Is that it? Huh? So you're going to completely abandon your family and other your obligations? Just, you piece of shit. I'm not relieving stress by abusing him. I'm just
just roll.
Yeah.
Anyways, might give him stress.
I'm giving him stress, yes. And I just unload on him.
Okay.
And of course, Isabel's right there.
Yep. Roll with face. Let's see how that hits him first.
Let me know if I get distressed when to get distressed.
Is that
I'm at 5?
Oh, you're at 5 now? Oh, okay.
So I had +1 because this is in the best interest of my family.
That's
and I got an 11.
All right. So you hit hard, you clear your stress. Really nothing happens with the stress because he's already maxed out. So Matthew, I'm going to put that on you. You have to make a stress move as soon as possible, or there's going to be some sort of hard move hitting you.
I think what Ignacio does is
stress moves are verbally abuse or shame, lose yourself in a substance, confess your sins, or dish out a beatdown.
He returns Lupe's verbal abuse with something similar. This time, along the lines of like when Lupe says when Lupe underscores the fact that Ignacio endangered like the integrity of this family he returns with like, what does it matter to you? Which is, you have the money. It says it seems you need. It seems his family needs more money more than it needs me, more than it needs, my presence as a father.
Oh, you're not getting away with that one. He still looks up to you. You know that? You may be a piece of crap, but he doesn't think so. He thinks you hung the moon. And you are not going to do anything to damage that.
I'm already not welcome in
anything.
that house.
And Matthew,
you are welcome, just not at 11 o'clock in the evening, asshole.
Matthew, if you lay on more emotion, you can roll with grit rather than face.
Yeah, absolutely.
Say something really nasty. It's gonna hurt her.
You got it. Yeah, you got to hurt me because nothing you've said has hurt.
Yeah.
Because she,
Ignacio brings up, do I actually know about the affair?
No.
Oh, okay.
You could say something like, "You haven't even slept with me in 6 months" or something, right?
Yeah, I was going to bring that up.
You're not even a good wife.
That doesn't hurt. That doesn't hurt. Keep going.
Okay.
There are things you can say that would hurt. Let's see. Yeah.
Well, Matthew, go ahead and just say some really nasty shit. And let's
Yep.
We'll see what the fallout is, but we'll let the dice decide, right?
Yeah. God, I really can't think of anything, and I'm not going to. I'm not going to push it.
We can just assume that you come up with something.
Yeah. Okay. Go ahead and roll with grit then. Okay.
All right.
Verbally abuse or shame.
Got a 9.
9er. All right. So on a 7 to 9, you clear 1 stress, and on a hit, Brandon Lupe adds a stress.
Okay. Yeah. It makes sense that I have stress because he almost got himself killed, and I see what happened to his car. And I look at him and I said, yeah, the money, from computers, right? Bullshit.
Angel, Daniel, do you want to make that roll for the finding someone?
Yeah, I was wondering, has the butcher been shot, or is he there?
No, they just shot up the place, but nobody got injured.
Okay. Yeah. So
let me say this though. You're looking for the real witness, right?
Yeah.
We know from Isabel. Isabel had them all come here. This is not the real witness.
Okay.
You're looking for the real witness, right? So, if you want to roll the dice, I'm happy to say that you've gotten. We'll make it up after the roll, but you've gotten some clues or some knowledge or something that's allowed you to go to the real witness,
okay.
Right? The real butcher. Do you want to do that, or do you just want to show up here?
Yeah, I want to try to find the real one. Yeah.
Okay.
First.
So let's roll those dice now, and then we'll know where you're at.
So the move is called Levanton. It's with savagery. Yeah. So it's +1. And I got a 10.
Great. You guys are rolling really well.
Yeah.
On a hit, you catch them exposed or vulnerable.
Yeah.
7 to 9, blah, 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 blah. Okay. So go ahead.
Yeah, my plan is to, because one of my pieces of my gear is a police uniform, which I have. So when I found out, track down the real butcher, I want to put the uniform on and approach them as dressed up as a cop. Yeah.
So I think if it works for you, I think the way to explain how you found them is that with your radio and stuff, you're hearing about the cops approaching all of these different butchers. You're hearing about thugs attacking several of these butchers, similar to what happened here. The only one in your list they haven't gone to is the real one, right? And let me ask this: is everybody comfortable if this witness took refuge in the cathedral? Is anyone uncomfortable with that, lines and veils wise, or is that okay? Okay, so yeah, you find he's not at his butcher shop. But maybe how do you get the information from his employees or from his wife or something that I'm not going to have you roll, but how did you get that information from them that he's actually hiding out in the cathedral?
Okay, maybe I put a little bit of pressure on one of his employees who found out that he was missing and tried to phone him, and then the butcher told him that he's hiding because he saw something and he didn't want to talk about it. But I can get this information.
How about if you had like your police uniform on and you're like, I'm just trying to protect him?
Yeah, I can do that too. Yeah, without violence. Yeah,
sure. So we'll see you driving up, parking in front of the cathedral, and walking up towards, the entrance. And let's get back to the guys yelling at each other. Isabel, let's put the spotlight on you. What do you want to do next?
Oh, when you said the guys yelling, I thought it was going to be the two. I was getting ready. No, but go ahead. Go ahead.
So I think I realize that with this being a hit team, probably from the cartel, that they're gonna hit the other butcher fast. And if I wanna put myself between the police and a cartel and squeeze any advance out of this, I have to get to the witness and prevent it from being killed as fast as possible. Mm-hmm. So, and this is going to be like a matter of minutes right now. So I'm going to leave this family feud to itself, and yeah, basically try to drive to the right butcher as fast as possible.
All right. So Ignacio and Lupe. Isabel just drives off.
I really want to talk to Isabel. Is there any possible way to intercept her or to persuade her to take me with her?
Sebastian, do you have a minute for her, or are you out?
Yeah, no, you can.
I'm going to climb in your car as you're starting it up. And so, unless you're going to physically have me physically ejected, we're having this conversation.
This is to make it more pressure. I think Zamora starts to walk over towards the car too, just to up the ante and the pressure here. Because you probably don't want Zamora going with you, right?
No.
If you can help it, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so Lupe jumps in the car. What do you do?
I'm cursing to the Lord about this family, which is hell bent on killing itself, apparently. And I shout to Zamora, kind of keep this place managed and the evidence tracked. We need to make sure that the other butchers aren't killed. I'll get to the next one, and then I just hit the engine and drive off with my sister in the backseat.
Okay. Let's roll pressure someone then and see how Zamora takes that. You're his partner. It kind of makes sense, so you have some leverage.
Yeah. Pressure is... That is hustle, so that is, as usual, +1. 7.
7. Pressure someone. Let's see. They see your point. They have to follow your lead or mark stress. On a 7 to 9, you let something slip as you bring pressure to bear. So what do you let slip that you might not have wanted to say?
I think in that situation, I sort of... I let slip under pressure that I basically say, this wasn't the right one. It's the butcher in that address. So I let slip the address where the other butcher is, and I think I sort of let slip that I'm pretty certain that that's the right one. So that gives them more and more reason to wonder, then why did we go here in the first place?
That's perfect. That's great. Yeah. All right. And Zamora comes up to you, as they speed away, Ignacio, and excuse the little bit of misogyny, but he says, are all the women in your family like this? And
Ignacio grunts with irritation, just ignores the remark.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, so Angel, I think the thing in my mind, Isabel and Lupe are going to this other butcher, but they don't know that that guy's at the cathedral, do they? I think given the time and it's a good place, maybe let's have the last scene be with Angel. Then we'll do some stars and wishes and say goodbye for today. But so Angel, frame it up for me. What are you doing? What's the cathedral look like? What's going on inside? Where do you find the butcher?
Well, maybe it's like a really big church, right? So it's there might be some tourists there. It's definitely not empty. I don't think there is some kind of service held, but there are people inside, praying or doing stuff what they do, and the butcher is just, I think, sitting there, looking over his shoulder. And I just want to approach him. I approach him still dressed as a police officer, and I just sit next to him on the bench. And
he looks over and he sees you, and he goes, "You're not really a police officer, are you?"
You recognize me, right? And I recognize you, which is a shame. She's not good for you.
He goes, the priest says that they can get me out of the city. They can hide me until they're ready, until nightfall. You don't need to do this.
You didn't need to tell anyone about what you saw.
I didn't tell anybody, hardly anybody. They're not going to say anything. Come on.
I don't think that's true, man. You need to get out right now. Not wait anymore. I want to see you leave this town immediately.
He looks really surprised and he says, "Really? You're going to let me go?"
I'll take a chance on you, yeah.
So yeah, he gets up and he starts to move away quickly down the aisle towards the back of the church, go out the back, so to speak.
Okay, I wait. Yeah, no, wait until he makes a few paces, and then I just follow him to see if he's really going away.
Okay.
I want to check if he's really leaving.
Sure.
And put some more pressure on him while doing this. Yeah.
Right. I don't think there's a roll on that, but there are a lot of people looking for him. So I'm going to have you make a roll of push your luck just to see if any complications come up.
Okay.
Complications named Isabel.
Right.
Yeah. So roll it grit, and my grit is +2. Okay. I rolled a 10.
Wow, you guys aren't missing today. 10 plus, fortune favors the bold. You walk out the door and you jump in your truck and you start to drive away, and Isabel and Lupe drive up, moments later. And the witness has disappeared. What's that?
And as everybody leaves, I just turn, Zamora, "Can I go now, officer?"
He goes, "Yeah, we've got your statement, but I'd watch your back. It's not going to take long for the Jefe to find out what happened here today. He's not going to like this." And he points over at the 2 body bags, being loaded into a truck or an ambulance.
Well,
if you got any family, you might want to have them go on vacation for a long time.
it's okay, officer. Serve and protect, right?
Sure. Can't say if you got anything to tell us, maybe we can help you. If you got anything to help us, we can help you, maybe.
Me? I'm just a simple computer salesman.
Okay. I think that's worth a justify your behavior. Let's throw that in there. Let's see if he buys that.
Okay. Let's see. Ah,
That's with face. I don't think that sounds too emotional, so we'll go with just
yeah,
straight up face.
yeah, no problem. That is a. What is my face? My face is -1. All right.
You're a crappy liar when you're not shouting.
5.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ooh.
So
Oh,
that's
good.
a miss. I think. Okay, I know what happens. I'm gonna make a note. It's gonna happen off screen. We'll pick it up next time. And we got a couple minutes before we go to Stars and Wishes. Let's Lupe and Isabel. You've arrived at the cathedral after getting information. Probably like the butcher was like, "Oh, we just told someone from the police where he is. He's over at the cathedral. Guess they didn't get back to you about that." And then you drove over there, and like we said, you drove up, and I don't know. I guess Lupe, you would I'm gonna say because it's interesting. You recognize Angel's truck driving away. I don't
Yeah.
know if Isabel would though. I don't know if Isabel would recognize that
Yeah.
truck.
It looks like a lot of trucks.
Yeah.
But it's got a distinctive like ding that a little scrape mark where you got another car that I just can't miss. I've looked for that truck a lot of times out the hotel window.
Sure.
So it's I'm intimately familiar with it.
Right.
I don't
Shall
say
we have
anything.
Shall we have a conversation in the car before we arrive there? Because
In
I
the
think
car or in the cathedral, whichever you prefer.
Yeah.
I think in the car, because the moment we arrive there and
Yes, you're
I've
being
heard
policed.
that information, then my mind is going to be on the witness. My mind is not going to be on having a
That's fine.
conversation.
We have a conversation in the car.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll start. Wait, you almost got killed back there, and now you're driving away to some other place you might get shot at by yourself?
Well, my dear sister, if you were so lucky to choose your husbands better, not that I have any luck with that, then I would have had the situation under control.
Really? That's not what I heard. I heard the pendejos showed up with more guns than you can count. Blew the place up with gunfire, and then left.
And they would have happily left without hurting anybody, if not for your husband deciding to ram their car in order to stop them.
Oh, I know that. He was an idiot. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about you. What's it going to mean to your family if you get killed? And she's starting to mist up.
Well, this is the job that I'm in, and you know that this is the only
yes, I
way
know.
in which I can make ends meet.
I know. I hate it. This has been a terrible day. First, Alejandro is about to be expelled for getting in a fight with this chico pendejo named Reyes, whose family evidently has given so much money to the school that they are willing to do anything they ask.
So, your ears probably prick up when you hear that word Reyes, Isabel.
And it has to be the comandante, because it can't be anybody else.
Sure.
And
wait, Reyes?
Yes, he's a lieutenant or something. They called him comandante.
Yeah.
He and little Alejandrito got into a fight, and the Alejandrito broke his nose or something. They got into a fight. As boys get into fights, it was nothing. But now they're trying to get Alejandro expelled from school, and I'm going to talk to him, but I don't know what I'm going to do.
Whatever you do, don't mess with that family. 18 hours in this city, and it's already eating up my family alive.
I have to talk to them. I have to do something. If Alejandro gets expelled, I know what's going to happen. He's going to end up in a gang. And the shame. I don't know how we'll ever be able to live that down. And it's not his fault. He's a good boy. He's a good boy. The other boy said something about his father, and he punched him. What was he supposed to do? Just sit there and do nothing and sit and accept this horrible insult?
It's the right thing to do, but unfortunately to the wrong person in that situation. So you have to be contrite in some form.
I can apologize, but I don't know if it'll work. What do they care? These people with enough money to break the system. What do I have? What weapons do I have to fight against that?
I'll join you when you walk to them, and I'll be in official dress, and hopefully that'll
Would you do
smooth
that
things
for
over
me?
a bit.
For us? Our family? That would mean a great deal to me.
Oh,
Let me
of
jump
course.
in. I think that sounds like propose a deal. What do you think?
No, I think I'm perfectly happy to accept it. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
delighted to accept your help. I didn't expect it.
Okay. Yeah, I think you're right then. Yeah.
I wish there was something I could do to help you. I say sincerely.
Just when tonight, when this day is over,
We can talk. We can talk and
can we just go to some nice bodega and just,
No, even better. Come over for dinner.
Okay.
I will make a nice pozole for you, and you can have a meal. You don't look like you've been eating very well.
Put some
And
beers
there will be
cold
enough,
while you're at it.
and there will be extra that you can take home.
Put some beers cold while you're at it.
Of course,
sounds good.
Of course.
So let's pause there. We'll call it for today with the two sisters driving up to the cathedral. Angel driving away after letting this witness get away. And Ignacio, Matthew, I forget where we left you. You were on your way home, I guess. Grab your bag of your truck. Your car's probably going to be in the shop now, but you probably grab your bag of oranges with the cocaine in the bottom of it and start. You're not. We established you're not very far away, so you probably can just walk home from there, right?
Yeah.
All right. So everybody's out in the city. Let's pause there. So first of all, maybe you guys have been following along as we were playing. Have you had any? Tell me if I get it wrong. Aves. You don't say the L's.
Yaves.
Just the A.
Yave.
Yave.
Yave. Yaves.
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 You just say the L.
Yaves.
It's a Y. It's a Y sound.
Laves. Okay, well, you keep correcting me. But has anybody hit any? I know that Daniel made an advance earlier, and you definitely, if you didn't take it already, letting that guy go definitely counts as mercy.
Yeah. But I have a question, but it doesn't then count as completing a task for my superior, because I let him go and I was supposed to
You know what? I think you might have cleared duty. Brandon, can you mute? I think we're picking up your breath. I think you might have cleared duty. Clear this key in advance when you intentionally thwart the goals of your organization or employer. What do you think?
I'm not sure. I just think I didn't want to thwart the plans of the cartel. I just wanted to let the guy go without killing him and, let him disappear. So I definitely want to clear one of those, but maybe not just yet.
Okay.
I'm not sure.
That's good.
If you say,
we'll say when that moment comes, then you're gonna have to go a little bit. You're gonna have to thwart their plans in a more direct way.
Yeah, I think if I hadn't let the guy go, then I would have cleared the mercy duty, because he was defenseless, and I wanted to. I would have.
Okay.
Him. Yeah.
Matthew, today, did you pick up any experience? Did you do any lying today?
I don't think I actually genuinely had the opportunity to lie. We came close to it, but it never really came to bear. So yeah.
Yeah, I don't think your finances came into play today. Let's see. No, I guess you didn't earn anything. It's too bad.
No problem.
Isabel schemes. Mark XP when you play both sides against each other.
Really yet. I think, I hope next session that might be the case when we hit the cathedral and Angel pays for the fact that he let the person go only for them to land in my hands and me then having a card. So,
Okay.
so I think that might happen, and that right now hasn't played a role yet. So that
Okay.
again, that might happen next session sometime.
All right, and I'm going to make a note that Isabel planning to grab the witness.
Yeah, for sure.
Anybody have a name for the witness? We should give them a name since they sound significant at this point.
Diego?
Diego, all right. Diego the Butcher, right?
Everyone knows Diego.
And debt, I don't think you played with your finances. And Lupe, accepting the lies or half-truths of a trusted friend or lover.
I accepted it. I did that with Angel.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I basically
yeah.
let slide some smooth things he said without challenging them.
Okay. And family mark experience when you violate your family member's boundaries. You definitely did that at least once.
More than once.
Yeah, maybe if you think you did it with each of them, go ahead and mark both. But I think you
Okay.
definitely did one. That's for sure.
I did do it with each of them.
Okay, good.
I didn't know.
All right. So, and you took an advance. What advance did you take? +1 hustle. Okay. Daniel, great. And it sounds like Brandon will have a chance to pick one. You can do it on your own time.
I will.
All right. So let's do some stars and wishes real quick, and we'll call it a day. So Sebastian's new to the gauntlet, so I don't know. Have you ever done stars and wishes before, Sebastian?
No.
Okay. So stars and wishes is just feedback way. It's just a way of giving feedback in a semi-structured way. So what we do is we go around the table and everybody gets a chance to give some stars to things in the game, people, things they did in the game, other players, whatnot. Just give some pats on the back, some nice little stars. And then we'll go around and do wishes, things that you would have liked to see different or done different, or things that you hope to see in the sessions to come. And I do this every other session. So we'll do that today, and then we'll do it after our 4th session. And at the end of the game, we'll do roses and thorns, which is kind of the same thing, but because it's the end of the game, it's just kind of a different, it just takes a slightly different form. But anyways, let's start with, you can do both at the same time if you want, but let's go, I think we started with Matthew today first when we went around the character keeper. So let's start with you again today, Matthew. Do you have any stars and wishes?
Yeah. I want to give a star to Isabel for her character, and well, first of all, very sweet moves over there, but also I really appreciated the interaction that Sebastian gave with Brandon in the car. I thought it came off as supernatural and super natural, not supernatural. Yeah, and I thought it was like, I could really get a mental picture of that. I thought Daniel was a very cool customer today. I genuinely enjoyed like the relationship he bounced with that Angel and Lupe had. Not only was it saucy, but I thought there was a lot of nuance and texture to the way they trade this deceit in nonverbal ways. Yeah, and another star to you, Jason. Not just for running the game, I think, but also for really working overtime to bring us together and really like make the conflicts and the mechanics of this game like really shine by activating our respective dramas. And final star to Brandon. As he hears me say all the time, I always love playing with him. Man, I feel bad for Lupe. Like, she did say well, only a little bit. I feel bad for her in the sense that she had a really rough day, by her own account. Like, the only good thing in her day to day was Angel, and wow, like I thought Brandon made the La Esposa playbook really shine. You really see what it's doing, what it mechanically and dramatically for the narrative. That is not just some, not it's not a trivial playbook. It's a powerfully, it's a potent playbook that really spikes up the drama. And as always, Brandon, I think, is an expert at you know blending that with a little bit of sorrow. So yeah, uh, sorry to Brandon.
Okay, great. Let's move to Sebastian. Do you have any stars or wishes or both?
Yeah, so in terms of stars, both to you, Jason, and to Matthew for dialing the heat up with your moves. So both with what could have been a boring visit at the wrong butcher, and then immediately turning the heat on there. I think that helped speed the game up a lot and make it more interesting. Similarly, Matthew, a star for driving the car in there. It's player stupid, but it's a lovely playing to lose in order for there to be far more interesting interaction. And another one for Brandon for bringing a really lovely character to the table. I quite enjoyed Lupe in her interactions. I don't think I have any wishes right now. They might come later. Yeah.
Okay, great. Brandon.
Big stars to Jason for dialing up every situation where it wasn't inherent in the characters. I love that. Thank you so much. It's so easy for Games Master kind of just to sit back and and to be passive in some cases, and and not to do that. But huge stars to everyone for the relationship drama. This character was crafted for relationship drama with all three of you, and you all brought it. The tender but secretive and even mendacious relationship with Angel is already apparent just in one scene. Just the fact that they need one another, even though they're in a way, the way they're not concealing anything, but on the other hand, they are, not involving themselves in each other's lives, which is kind of, so there's a hard stop to where their emotions come in both cases, and that shone through. And the question is whether that line will ever be crossed, which is a delicious one.
The best kind of affair.
Yeah, absolutely. It's one where that you care, but you care with this guardrail, and the question is where will the car ever go off the road? And thank you, Ignacio, for doing something so stupid that Lupe had every reason to just paste you, rather than just be concerned about your son, but just to blow flame at you with every justification for doing so. I mean, she didn't have to manufacture that at all. So that was fantastic.
It's 100% why I did it.
and with Isabel, especially for letting Lupe show the other side of her concern, that she's not just an angry person, but that she really cares, and that she's, that she would be devastated if anything happens to Isabel, even though that Isabel is in a very dangerous job, doesn't mean, that she doesn't pray for Isabel every Sunday, to yet once again escape, the horrors of her situation. And she also has the feeling that Isabel is involved in it further than that, of course, but has never, and is, and I felt that the conversation there and her willingness to do something so brazen as to get into the back of Isabel's car as she was speeding off, obviously on a police errand, is evidence of that. And thank you so much for playing to that and establishing their relationship. It was just incredibly satisfying all around. Thank you.
Great.
So wishes for next time. Wishes for next time. wishes for next time is that some relationship should cross a breaking point. That there should be revelations, or in the case of Angel, over involvement on one or both sides. In the other case, the other two, a revelation, a truth that comes out, or evidence that comes to Lupe to be able to sock the other person with with truth. So that's my wish.
Great. Daniel?
Okay, so I have most of the things you already said, how I feel. I'll start to Ignacio for doing that thing with his car, and also playing a great character who is like sort of hanging on a thread, and and while doing this, producing dramas to everyone else. That was really really cool. And Isabel also kind of a manipulative character, but not in a evil way, which is really really hard to find. Just I think it's probably part of the game, what the game makes of us to try to make these choices that we have to make, and they don't seem extreme. They seem dramatic, but not extreme in any way, which is really nice. And you hit it really, that direction, you hit it really well. And Brandon, of course, for doing everything with emotion and drama. And I really wish to explore these relationships with you, with Lupe and Angel, also with the others. I think my wish is also to the same as what you said, Brandon, about relationship. Doing some twists and turns. And a star to Jason for running the game really well. I really liked your method of sort of a hard framing in the beginning, and then letting us do the letting us more follow our wishes in the end, which is really good method. And I will steal that when I run a PBTA game. It was really, really cool. And but the situations that we were in were like, even if we want, we had the agency to create our own directions or scenes. We wanted, I think everyone wants to gather the characters together and as soon as possible and produce some drama, and this is really really satisfying with the game and with the whole group. Yeah.
All right, great, thank you. 1 second. Go ahead, Matthew.
I just wishes. I just wanted to say, like, 'cause I didn't go through wishes actually. Yeah, my wish is to learn more about Lupe. So because I'm still trying to get a grasp of the character. Like, everything's written down and clear, but I'm very looking forward to learning more about her, for the way Brandon's conceived of her, so that we can really ratchet up that tension and drama. I want to see Isabel get compromised even further. I mean, I'm not trying to be a sadist here, but this is where the juice comes, right? And I want to see Angel make a hard choice, and I want things to really beat the shit out of Ignacio. Like, I don't have a player ego to bruise, so don't go easy on me. Don't and don't go easy on me, and more importantly, don't go easy on Ignacio. And yeah, those are my 4 primary wishes, and my other wish is, and this is just incredibly unrelated. It's just like, wow, like the way, Jason, you dialed up the drama for this. I would love to see you run Apocalypse Keys. This is not promo. I just want to see I just want to see you do it, because like, if you can do it with this game, Lord knows what you're going to do with Apocalypse Keys. All right, and those are my wishes. Thank you.
Okay, great. I think, Sebastian, you didn't have any wishes when we came around the first time. Do you have anything you want to add, or are you good?
I think the only thing I would love for Ignacio be in an agentic situation at some point, because so I felt like Ignacio definitely did something this session, but it was kind of more a reactive thing. So something that sees Ignacio more in his role as cocinero, really doing something. It might be something stupid,
Yeah.
but doing something in his
Might
role.
be.
Right. Yeah. When we started today, when Brandon did his start a session move, I had a choice to make of like, should we get Matthew involved with the Alejandro obligation situation or not? And I decided to just have it at the school. But we definitely Matthew's walking around with this bag of oranges and cocaine, so we might have him doing something real soon. And I forgot, Daniel, did you have wishes, or did you have any to add at this point?
I didn't have anything to add. I just, I wanted
Okay.
to explore more of the relationships with other characters.
Sure.
Yeah.
All right.
Oranges
so
and Cocaine is the name of my indie folk album.
right. Let me give a little bit of feedback too. So I love romance in games. I'm really glad to see that get on the table. Angel and Daniel and Brandon handled it very nicely. It was very interesting. Enough of that sensual, intimacy, but also that sort of lies and digging for truths and stuff. All that's beautiful, perfect. The scene where the three of you, that was Matthew and Sebastian and Brandon, were all yelling at each other and attacking each other. That was wonderful. Especially Sebastian, I think you really opened the can of worms on that one. You jumped in immediately and called out you were going to make that stress move, and that just led to a really nice little session, nice little back and forth between the three of you. That was really nice to see. Before I forget, Sebastian, you're welcome to show up any session you want from this point on, okay? So if we have to play with 5 people, that's cool. I think you're so engaged in the game now that it would be hard to play the rest without Isabel. So you can just plan on being here on Sunday if you want to. If you don't, that's cool too, so we'll go from there. Hopefully we'll have Pablo back and we'll add him to the mix. Let's see, what else was I going to say? Oh, is everybody comfortable sharing the video on YouTube or not? Is fine. Everyone's good. And then wishes wise, just a little feedback from myself, just thinking, I think next, like a couple of you guys touched on it, like the hard framing in the beginning and then loosening it up as we went. My plan going forward, especially now that everybody's lived in their characters a little bit, either 1 or 2 sessions now, is to continue with sort of free framing to allow you guys to kind of take your characters where you want. I think my main goal, this is for myself to know, is to just keep the pace up. One thing I noticed today it was my fault mostly, is that some of the scenes maybe went a little long. I would have liked to see us cover a little more ground, although we did really cover a lot of scenes when you go back and add them all up. But just for myself, I'm just thinking, there's so many enlaces and obligations and secrets. I would like to see them all in play, which is probably unrealistic, but today, we definitely brought up a lot of them, but I'd like to see more and more of them as we go forward. So letting you guys do what you want to do, have the scenes you want, but also keep the pace up, I think is what I'm looking for going forward. Everybody cool? All right, I think that's everything. I will see you guys next Sunday. Bye.